recently, my husband and I bought our first house together. Congratulations. Soon after we bought our house, we met our next door neighbor, whose name we will say is Rory, because that's hard to say. Can I? All right, I'll just go with that.
You can say Dennis if you want.
I also
Dennis?
just want to say, I always love when people include these fake names as though, like, saying his actual name, Jerry, would totally give him away.
Well, I mean, fandoms are capable of literally anything, and you know I love our listeners, but
They would find him.
Anything's possible.
As they got that Shrimp Heaven Now kid got elected mayor of his city.
That's
and he's
true.
Not in any way capable of doing that. As we settled into our home, I began doing yard work and used a big orange bucket. Thank you for the aesthetic details. They really helped to paint a picture. A big orange bucket that I found in the home to take pulled weeds to throw in the brush in the backyard. After using this bucket a few times, I noticed that it has Rory, or Dennis, written across it. I didn't make the connection at first, so I continued to use it until it finally clicked.
What? You didn't make the connection.
That's
at
not
first.
a very difficult connection. That's a good, easy connection, I feel like.
It's not fucking
that's a
Zodiac
good one.
Killer. It said Rory on it.
Or Dennis, did the former homeowner steal this bucket? Am I stealing this bucket? Do I return it to the owner? Do I hide it behind his shed? Do I buy my own orange bucket and write my name across it and pretend this nightmare never happened? Help. That's from The Real Bucket Thief.
Sounds like your conscience has already spoken, just based on the title that you've chosen for yourself there, that you know this is bucket crime, and you are continuing to be party to it. You're not the perpetrator, but you are an accomplice, certainly. You are profiting from the bucket theft.
This is actually a really good question because you legally bought everything in the house. If they left it there, that's your property. You own it.
I've
I
always
would
wanted.
assume a loaning scenario would happen because it would take. I would need a bucket pretty bad before
To talk to
I would
somebody.
break into my neighbor's
Look
home.
at him over
It's-
there using
Yeah.
that beautiful orange bucket again.
Look at that
One of
beautiful
these days
bucket.
when he's not looking, it'll be mine.
He could throw anything in there and carry it from place to place with minimal effort.
I bet he could even put liquids in there. No way. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
asked him, I said, Dennis, where'd you get that nice bucket? And he told me to fuck off. Can you believe that, Valerie? He told me to fuck off.
So I'm putting together a team. I need someone who can do flips, someone who can lift things, a guy who has pencils.
Valerie, you're going to seduce him. And I don't listen. I know I've had you seduce a lot of neighbors for a lot of buckets, but this one's different.
This is
It's
the last.
big and orange.
This is
One
the
last
last
job.
job. After this one, we can retire. This is I don't know my neighbors super well, and I feel genuinely guilty about that because I feel I on paper I like the idea of knowing all my neighbors and getting together for backyard barbecues and bocce ball and what have you. And this seems like a good opportunity to like go talk to your neighbor. You know what I mean? Like I would never just like go ring the doorbell and invite them to dinner, although I'm sure they would be into that because of my considerable anxiety. But if I had like a reason to go talk to them, I think you should jump at it. I think everybody could do better to like know their neighbors a little bit better, and this seems like a chance to do that and have a reason for it.
I bought a house
for sure.
recently, and we have a big like bay window in the living room, and there's this older gentleman who lives in the house across the street, and he likes to spend his time on nice days just sitting on a chair on his lawn. And so I like to stand in front of my bay window and look at him and saying, "Old man, look at my life." And I laugh really hard every time I do
But
it.
you don't go talk to him and see if he needs anything.
No.
Now, you are. I should advise you, Travis. You're in a window right now where you. Please don't be like me in every house I've ever owned. Please learn your neighbors' names now and write them down somewhere because you won't need them frequently enough to remember them. And you are definitely going to get to a window where it would be weird to ask them their name.
Yeah.
Like you're hurtling towards that window from the day you buy the house.
Are you
that
ready?
Lady that comes over, my across the street neighbor that comes over to use my phone sometimes. She told me her name once the first time she borrowed the phone, and I didn't know it was going to be a repeated thing, so
Yeah.
I didn't remember it. And now look at me.
We actually play with fire one step deeper, where Teresa and I, within the walls of our own home, refer to anyone who lives around us as neighborino. So I was like, did you see what Neighborino was doing over there? Oh, what was Neighborino doing? And one of these days, I will talk to that person, and I will call them Neighborino to their face because I'm a monster who can't control themselves.
Neighborino's fun. Yeah, that sounds like you're on some Flanders shit. I don't even have. There's every day I drive to daycare, drop my son off. Not every day, like 4 days a week. And when I drive back, it always times out that I drive by an old man who lives near me. He's always chomping an unlit cigar. He's walking his dog. Pass him the same street every time. We are kindred spirits. We are always in the same place. Don't know nothing about him, except that he likes to walk his dog on that street and chew an unlit cigar. I'm going to call him Jack from now on, because he looks like a Jack.
So having just bought a house, this is our first permanent residence, like, house we've ever bought. And it's amazing how your psychology changes. I took my dog out into the backyard to use the restroom. Her, not me. And I will often use the small wet room and then put pajama pants back on. And so, like, I was wearing some Muppets pajama pants that Mary Smurl got me. They're great. And I made eye contact with my neighbor who was, like, fully dressed because it was 2:30 in the afternoon. And he was dressed like, a person, an adult.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, oh, I can't just move now. I own this place. I'm trapped here forever. And to you, I'll always be that 12-year-old adult who lives next door.
Yeah.
Oh,
be careful.
No.
And that dookie is going to stay there, and you own that house. And you got to do something about it. If it's a rental or a lease, you can leave. And then in a year or so, it won't be your problem. Mm-hmm. Didn't think about that, I bet.